Welcome to week 9 of Explore the Bible. We're back today into 1 Peter. Hope you had a great Easter and excited about what's going to happen this week as we kind of close out over the next few weeks the book of 1 Peter. There is a great lesson here about suffering. Suffering is a part of the Christian life. At least it is supposed to be. That's supposed to happen. Now, this is real suffering. Suffering for the sake of Christ is supposed to happen. So we'll look at this passage here as we go. Before we do that, if you haven't already subscribed, if you've got a thumbs up button pushed, then you're a good person. Otherwise, you've got issues. We need to pray about that for you. Hit the thumbs up button, comment, tell us where you're watching from, put your questions in there, and share the video with somebody else. Support our work at give.exposedtochrist.com. All right, here we go. 1 Peter 4. Dear friends, don't be surprised when the fiery ordeal comes among you to test you as if something unusual were happening to you. Okay, we're going to work our way through this as we go, right? The fiery ordeal, he says. All right, let's switch to this one. Let's see if that's, a little bit bigger. I like yellow better, don't y'all? I like yellow better. We're going to go with yellow. This fiery ordeal comes among you. Don't be surprised as if something unusual were happening. You see what he's saying? This is not unusual. This is what happens. Now, granted, he's writing here to Christians living in Rome, which is a thoroughly pagan culture, and becomes anti-Christian. It's the Christians are against them. I mean, the Jews are against them, but then the Romans turn against them as well, and they blame them for things, and they go through great persecution. We know that happens, right? But Peter's saying, look, this is not unusual. This is what happens, right? Instead, he says, instead of being surprised, you should rejoice as you share in the sufferings of Christ. Okay, this is a phrase that we don't like. I don't know about you. I don't like it. I want to share in the sufferings of Christ. I just want to share in the good things. I just want to share in the blessings, in the great days, right? In the happy times. But this is a part of the Christian life, is the blessing, hear the words, the blessing of sharing in his sufferings, of understanding in a small part what happened on the cross. We share in the sufferings of Christ so that you may rejoice with great joy when his glory is revealed. You see, there is a part of the exaltation at the second coming, at the end, the final victory, that we cannot understand if we have not been through the suffering. There are things about life that you don't get until you go through them, right? There are things you just can't understand until you've been through, experienced. And then you're like, oh, well, I get that now. I mean, a basic idea would be parenting, right? You don't really understand parenting until you become a parent. I mean, you can read the books about it, you can watch other people do it, but until it's your kid, you don't really get it, right? With this is, until you've suffered, there's a level of joy you cannot reach without suffering. If you are ridiculed for the name of Christ, okay, listen, he's very specific here. He's talking about the sufferings of Christ, being ridiculed for the name of Christ. If you are ridiculed, you are blessed, because the Spirit of glory and of God rests on you. Do you see this? It's a blessing to be ridiculed for Christ. Now, and honestly, in America, most people are not. Now, ridiculed is not having somebody say something mean about you on Facebook. Ridiculed is not having somebody make some social media post where they demean Christianity and you read it. Okay. Yeah, I can tell you how many people we feel Christians are so soft in the United States. We'll read something somebody says generically and we feel persecuted because of it. Give me a break. Right? To actually have people beat you up because not just verbally but physically assault you because of your Christian faith. Not because you were a jerk, but because you were trying to love people and share the gospel with them, and other people beat you up. I mean, this is a part of this thing that most of us never experience, and the truth is most of us don't experience because we don't ever live on that edge. We don't. Let none of you suffer as a murderer, a thief, an evildoer, or a meddler. These are not reasons to suffer. A meddler. I love that. Somebody that just gets in other people's business. But if anyone suffers as a Christian, you suffer as a Christian. You see that Peter's making very clear the kind of suffering he's talking about, right? Suffering associated with you living your Christian life. Let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify God in having that name. For the time has come for judgment to begin with God's household, and if it begins with us, what will the outcome be for those who disobey the gospel of God? All right. Don't be ashamed. If you do suffer, don't be ashamed. Right? Glorify God. You have an opportunity to suffer for Christ, suffer with Christ, to participate in his sufferings. Right? We're a part of the body of Christ. These are his sufferings, right? His body. When the body of Christ suffers, he suffers, right? And look, judgment is going to begin with God's household, which means that there are going to be times, and maybe he's talking very specifically to them at the time that they're about to suffer for being a part of God's household, and that's going to feel like judgment, right? But he says, you think that's bad? What about if you're one of those who's disobeyed? Now, if you're going to suffer, I'd rather suffer here with God's household than suffer outside of it, right? And if a righteous person is saved with difficulty, what will become of the ungodly and the sinner? This is an Old Testament quote, Psalm 11 maybe, I think. If a righteous person is saved with difficulty, what will become the ungodly and the sinner? So then, let those who suffer according to God's will entrust themselves to a faithful Creator while doing what is good. Here is the approach, the ethical approach to suffering, right here, verse 19, right? You're suffering according to God's will, right? Then entrust yourself to the Lord and do what is good. Do the right thing and trust the Lord. Do the right thing, trust the Lord. This is the statement, the ethical mandate for the Christian. You do the right thing and let God take care of it. There's never a wrong time to do the right thing. It doesn't mean that you will not suffer. Trust the Lord and trust your life with him. Let him handle you, take care of you. Give glory to him and just trust the Lord. This is not easily done. Easily said, not easily done. We don't want to suffer. We don't want to go through it. Nobody does. We should not eagerly run to it. Which kind of the mandate. Maybe that's not the right word I'm looking for there, but the general thought in the early church as they were going through martyrdom was that nobody sought out martyrdom. You didn't want to go be famous as a martyr. That wasn't proper. To do things in order to. But if in the living of your life as a believer, martyrdom happened, then martyrdom happened. Trust the Lord. So it's not that you go seeking out controversy. It's not that you go seeking out times to become controversial for the sake of being controversial. Sometimes people will say things just in an effort to, in the modern usage, we'd say to get clicks, right? We say things so that people will click on our story to see what it's all about, and then we sell the ad space, and that's all we really care. We're trying to become more famous. We're just trying to get clicks. That is not what this is about. This is living your life quietly, faithfully to the Lord, and if things happen because of that, trust the Lord. That's the ethical side of this, right? You just do good. You live your life for him in honoring him with your life quietly, not trying to stir things up so that you can become famous, but living your life for the Lord, doing the right thing. And then if things happen, trust the Lord and keep doing the right thing. Keep being honest. Keep living your life for Christ. Keep being a person of integrity, a person of honor, a person of faith, and trust the Lord with what happens. I hope that's helped as you go through this. This is, I think, a hard thing, especially in America, in the American church, because we like being part of the lead in the culture, right? We're used to that. We're not real used to being the people on the bottom side of the culture. And I've spent a lot of time in a lot of countries around the world where Christians were not on top of the culture. And I think it's hard for us. And we need to get off our high horse, be a little humble about things, and recognize there are a lot of Christians around the world living with this every single day. We need to pray for them. We need to pray. Pray for them that God will give them grace and mercy, because it's not easy. And then be faithful. God bless you. Thanks for watching. I hope that's helped. Be sure and subscribe, like, comment, share it with somebody else. We'll see you next week.